Chosen one, listen with the deepest chamber of your spirit, because what is unfolding in this moment is not a coincidence, not a random crossing of timelines, not a casual moment you stumbled into. This moment is the result of a divine summons sent from the highest dimension of heaven, released at an exact second, carrying an instruction with your name woven into it. And whether you feel ready or not, the spiritual realm has already initiated movement around your life that cannot be undone, reversed, delayed, or intercepted, because heaven has reached the point where your destiny contract has matured, and the time for activation has arrived. And what I am about to reveal will not just speak to your ears. It will speak to the blueprint of your soul, the architecture of your calling, the foundation of your identity, and the buried authority you forgot you carried. Because heaven is not whispering in this moment. Heaven is issuing a decree so loud in the unseen realm that demons tremble, cycles shatter, stagnation cracks, and every spiritual obstruction assigned to your timeline receives notice that their assignment has expired. And if your spirit feels something shifting inside you even before your mind can explain it, it is because heaven has been preparing you for this revelation long before your emotions could articulate what was happening, long before your circumstances reflected any sign of change, long before your confidence felt secure, because you were never waiting on breakthrough. Breakthrough was waiting on you to reach the spiritual maturity required to step into the level of destiny heaven wrote into your existence before you took your first breath. And now heaven says, hear this without resistance, without fear, without shrinking, because your old identity can no longer survive the magnitude of the next chapter. Your old mindset can no longer coexist with the spiritual rank you are being elevated into. Your old patterns can no longer accompany the assignment heaven is releasing. And the discomfort you have been feeling, the restlessness, the internal pressure, the emotional heaviness, the mental stretching, the strange surges of intuition, the sudden cravings for isolation, the deep hunger for clarity. None of these were signs of collapse. They were signs of construction, divine restructuring, spiritual remodeling. Because God was not modifying your life. He was transforming your entire being from the foundation outward, so you could carry the weight of what is coming. And chosen one, hear this clearly. The battle you have been facing was never about the surface issues you thought you were fighting. The real war was always over your identity, because the enemy knew that if you ever recognized who you truly are, if you ever realized the magnitude of the authority you carry, if you ever awakened to the spiritual rank heaven placed over your life, hell's influence over your destiny would collapse instantly. So the enemy attacked you in childhood, attacked you in silence, attacked you in isolation, attacked you when you had no defense, attacked you when your heart was wide open, because he hoped to fracture the identity God intended to rise in power. But what the enemy underestimated was your resilience, your endurance, your ability to rise even when crushed, your refusal to surrender even when bleeding spiritually, your capacity to hold on to faith even when heaven felt quiet. Because chosen one, heaven took note of every moment you wanted to give up but didn't, every moment you cried but kept going, every moment your heart broke but your spirit refused to collapse, every moment you felt overlooked by the world but held on to the belief that God saw you. And heaven recorded all of it as evidence that you are qualified for the elevation assigned to your timeline. And now, because heaven has examined your endurance, your maturity, your humility, your growth, your refined discernment, and your unshakable spirit, the gates of delay are being lifted. The locks on your next season are being released. and the spiritual embargo that restricted your rise is breaking with force. And you must understand this clearly. You were not denied. You were developed. You were not rejected. You were redirected. You were not abandoned. You were being recalibrated. Because heaven cannot place a monumental calling upon a fragile foundation, and God refused to let you step into influence without the grounding required to sustain it. And chosen one, this is why you felt isolated in seasons where you wanted connection, why you felt stagnant in seasons where you wanted progress, why you felt forgotten in seasons where you wanted recognition, why you felt spiritually stretched in seasons where you wanted comfort. Because God was removing the excess so the essential could emerge. God was stripping the noise so your spirit could hear clearly. God was disconnecting you from people who could not walk with you into the next dimension. God was protecting your anointing from environments that would have drained it. God was disguising your growth because premature exposure would have sabotaged your assignment. And now heaven is saying, the hiding season has completed its purpose. The wilderness has served its role. The refining has reached its conclusion. And the isolation that once felt like punishment will soon be understood as protection, because you are about to walk into a chapter where the very situations that broke you will become the testimony that crowns you. The very losses that wounded you will become the clarity that guides you. The very betrayals that shattered you will become the wisdom that strengthens you. And the very tears that soaked your pillow will become the seeds of the abundance heaven is releasing. And chosen one, what I am about to reveal next is the part of your story the enemy never wanted you to discover. The reason your life has felt spiritually tight, emotionally heavy, mentally exhausting, and atmospherically intense is because you have been standing at the doorway of transition. But the door was not waiting to be opened. The door was waiting for you to outgrow the version of yourself that could not walk through it. And now that heaven has reshaped your identity, restored your confidence, purified your intentions, deepened your discernment, sharpened your intuition, strengthened your spirit, and aligned your destiny frequency, the door is not only opening, it is dissolving. Because what God is bringing you into cannot be limited to a single opportunity, a single blessing, a single breakthrough. He is ushering you into an entire realm of expansion, a dimension of clarity, abundance, influence, peace, authority, maturity, and divine alignment that no enemy can contaminate, no circumstance can hinder, no person can block, and no fear can sabotage. And now heaven declares over your life that the suffering season is closing, the warfare season is weakening, the confusion season is lifting, the waiting season is ending, and the acceleration season is beginning. And this acceleration will come with such precision that it will feel supernatural, because it is. And God is not just adding blessings, He is rearranging your timeline, so your destiny aligns with divine timing instead of human timing. And you must understand that the intensity of your recent battles was directly proportional to the magnitude of the elevation you are stepping into. Because the closer a chosen one moves toward their ordained breakthrough, the more violently the enemy attempts to destabilize them, distract them, overwhelm them, confuse them, and exhaust them, hoping they will step out of alignment before heaven releases what was promised. But chosen one, you did not fall, you did not surrender, you did not break. And because of that, heaven is releasing a level of favor that will not operate gradually, but suddenly. Not quietly, but visibly. Not partially, but fully. Because this is not just breakthrough, this is divine presentation, where heaven reveals publicly what you carried privately. where God validates every silent sacrifice, every hidden battle, every unseen victory, and every quiet moment of obedience that was overlooked by people but honored by heaven. And now hear this final revelation with spiritual sensitivity. You are entering the chapter where what once resisted you will recognize you. What once ignored you will pursue you. What once burdened you will release you. What once confused you will make sense, and what once felt impossible will unfold with ease, because the grace over your life has shifted, the season over your life has changed, the authority over your life has increased, and the spiritual realm has acknowledged your awakening. And heaven says, this is your becoming, your unveiling, your activation, your release, your elevation, your ascension. And nothing, no fear, no enemy, no delay, no person, no memory, no mistake, no doubt can stop what God has authorized in your life now. Because the decree has been issued, the gates have opened, the path has cleared, and your destiny has begun its manifestation. Chosen one, align your spirit, steady your faith, hold your authority, and prepare yourself. Because what is rising in your life will not only redeem your past, it will redefine your future. And this moment marks the irreversible shift heaven has ordained for you.